sort of the terrorism in Nigeria. Tinubu and his gang could actually really do us that favor. Leak it. You know what I mean? Just drop the name, leak it out to the media. They won't know it's you. It will just be like a classified. How did he get out? He just got out. The moment it's out, you just clamp down on these people. If you can't, let America do it then. They can come and pick up those criminal sheikh, this murderous terrorist, with bedsheet all over their head in that, what do you call it, in that Sharia north. Indeed, I mean, I would do it if I have to escape, being directly being directly held responsible. But leak it. That's why everybody is asking. It's not just those guys who are shooting. Who are those who continue to sabotage the efforts of Nigeria, if there is any? Sabotage the effort of Nigeria in going after the terrorists. Who are those? They actually exist. Igbe Jolanta once told us, remember? Somebody is asking.
List of individuals suspected or accused of funding terrorism in Nigeria, and they're Nigerians. What was the action of the federal government? The government didn't ask for the list to be made public. Somebody at some point, I think from the office of the Attorney General, I'm not sure now, so I shouldn't be quoted, said that, yes, the list, they've sent a list, but to protect the privacy and the rights of the people. I shook my head. Your privacy, your right, you've been named definitely and boldly by a country other than Nigeria as being responsible for this, because that's the result of their own forensic audit and investigations, and the names are not made public. So to me, if today somebody says we don't know those who are sponsoring terrorism, I will respond that no names have been made public, but that honestly, those who should know those who are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria and banditry. Those who know should also know that when you think about terrorism in Nigeria, you ask yourself, why is there the general impression all over the country that terrorists, particularly Boko Haram, bandits and all the rest of them, get away with whatever they do? As in, get away with it. Nobody gets arrested. If you hear that somebody is arrested, after some time he goes free. You hear of a bandit leader being turbaned somewhere in the north as a leader by an emir sitting. You hear of arrest, nothing happens after the arrest. You see people carrying high caliber military assault weapons. You see a 17, 18-year-old boy following a number of cows, and he's wielding an AK-47 freely in public. If you have anything beyond a double barrel, if you get a mouse bag, a pump action, you'll be arrested because it's not under license. So that feeling that there's some kind of state endorsement, state silence, or those who should know, looking away, has pervaded public consciousness, such that whether it's true or not, a lot of us, and I'm including myself, believe that there's the unfortunate suspicion that those who should stop this thing are not doing anything about it, and that they are not paying attention to the danger and the damage. Even like the impression is that, it must be our northern brothers who are behind all of this. But I then look around and I ask myself, the rate of killings, kidnappings, banditry, and all of that going on in the north, if the killing of even Muslims when they raid places, it makes you wonder, if they are the ones sponsoring it, are they not intelligent enough to see that they're in the line of fire more than any other place? And you talk of poverty in the place. Yes, poverty is a very good, provides very fertile soil for this sort of thing. If you're not doing anything, and somebody comes and tells you, let's go and loot a store and collect 5,000, you'll follow him. Why is it not taking place? Go and try and organize radicalization or banditry in Lagos. And tell me why somebody will leave what he's doing and follow you. Go and try to organize it in any way and tell me on it, and tell me why somebody will close down his shop and be listening to you about what to do or not do so that he'll give you food. So the place is thoroughly violated. Leadership, civilian leadership is not doing enough. And we're not talking about federal. First of all, every environment has a ward chairman, a council chairman, a local government before you talk about governor. How many of those people reside in their respective local governments? How many of them do anything on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis? To what extent is their governance at that level? So when a social environment is totally disrupted and there are no binding activities and people are walking in and picking whoever suits them for nefarious activities, naturally, very naturally, radicalization will bloom banditry will bloom, dissociation of social consciousness will bloom. And that's what we are having, particularly in those places. And you see that there's a perception and reality of the wave of misconduct, which we've captured as a banditry, moving progressively down south, suggesting, yes, there's an origination point, but it's moving into other areas. And so if it comes to maybe Ondo State, and in Ondo State, the place is organized, local governments are functioning, the local government chairman gets 200 million a month, there's an indication of what is going. You have difficulty getting enough numbers to disrupt the place. So you find that in many places in the south where we say, oh, there's growing banditry and all of that, you don't find too many of the indigents being the activators. But then also when you look at the killing in Owo, you then advise yourself, do not draw a typology. A lot of things are perpetrated by non-northerners, and because of the reputation that has emerged over time, the assumption is always from there. Summary point I'm making, the problem is real. The belief that the state is not doing enough is solid. And the fact that most of those who have been apprehended, arrested, accused or whatever, we don't see what happens to them later. And the deliberate denial, too, of some of what is happening in the Middle Belt in particular, where we know villages where people have been wiped out, actually. Whether they're all Christians or all Muslims is another matter. But there are places that can be mentioned with specific names where people were killed and what do you call it? Those who killed them did not leave the place, but began to stay there for some time. Whether they are still there, I do not know. So let's not hide the facts or deceive ourselves.
All right, Prof. Just before we let off,
I'll try to de-emphasize the situation. So I shared a post on Maiyegun's Diary Political on Facebook this morning, and it was pretty much like an indirect code, right? Hopefully, few people, but I mean, not many actually really got it, but hopefully some did. I said AK-47 is, 560,000 naira. 1,000 bullets, live ammunition, is 150,000 naira. And to get a gun license in Abeokuta, Eleweron, it is 55,000 naira. Those figures are not actually what's wanted to drive home the message. So you can call it a social experiment as well. How do you even feel whenever you hear that you need to defend yourself? Use wherever you have to protect yourself. There's already breakdown of law and order in Nigeria. Those of you who are still pretending to be obeying any law, you are just obeying the rule of the lawless criminals in charge of Nigeria. The Fulani terrorist carries assault rifles, AK-47. We have those ones with cows. The ones without cows, those ones who are riding their bikes, the full-time terrorists, right? They carry all this kind of powerful assault rifles. And guess what? Right before your eyes, you, citizen, you who is a citizen of Nigeria, you dare not walk about with a kitchen knife. You'll be arrested and tried, maybe for armed robbery or something. Then you are watching murderers mingling with your politicians, carrying unlicensed weapons. So you have to obey the law, but they don't have to. So make that make sense. So that whenever they come to kill you, if you have a chance, or if you have the chance of getting yourself protected, just do it, legally and illegally. Because when the terrorists come, they won't even have to check if you have the weapon that is licensed, and be offended that, how can you be using an unlicensed weapon? We are the one allowed to use unlicensed. No. It should be those who live to tell the story, right? That will actually live to tell the story, you know. So I said that. I know that AK-47 is about 1.5 million naira. And to get 1,000 bullets could possibly cost you like 500,000 naira as well. So it's not really that cheap. But again, for those who have the message, it is all about things have gotten to that stage. When you have that capacity of protecting yourself, do it whether legally or illegally. In that contraption today, the terrorists have no legal right to take your life or the life of your loved ones. But if you are still under the law, right, God forbid, say amen, so that it won't be your turn to feature on Maiyegun's diary political as the new victim. You remember that Nigeria is something. Let me remind you. In Nigeria, right, you see today's victims, they are yesterday's survivors. So it's those of us who survived today. We are the potential victims of tomorrow. Nigeria is turned by turn Nigeria Limited. So the more you live in denial, the more you deceive yourselves, the more you tell yourself about this, you're one Nigeria, and every other thing you are kind of like, you say to yourself to, get you to bed at night. When you wake up, you have to realize this is happening. You are on your own. So they are advancing downward, down south. That is the narrative, right? But they are not migrating down south. They are already in the south. Are you kidding me? How many of you living around the Badagry? How many of you living around Badagry today would deny the presence, the massive presence of the Fulanis? Those ones with cows, those others with bikes in Badagry today. Those of you living in the border town in Ogun State, Owodeyewa, ERUKU, hey, are you going to deny the presence of all these guys around you? How many of you right now living in Yoruba land have noticed the surge in Okada riders and the rest of them, just like massively these days, right? Okay. They are not migrating down south. They are already in the south. There are those who are very much aware. There is something called sleeper cell. Sleeper cells are the cells that you will see people who are doing cobbler, gateman, those who are doing laundry, your taxi driver, your bike rider, your electrician, and all of these guys. They could be members of sleeping cell. It's just one call. Just call them, and you will wake up one morning and you will see Abdul, your gate man, opening the gate for the others. They are coming for you. You'll be so shocked. You've been nice to Abdul all the time. He's been working for you. Why would Abdul lead people to come and kill you in your house? This is not Sokoto. This is not Kano. This is Lagos. So if you are one of those who believes that, that some people don't want Tinubu to succeed, some people are sabotaging him, is it not time for you to even say it directly to that Tinubu himself? Does Tinubu himself want to succeed? Does Tinubu actually want Nigeria to succeed? Because I mean, what is going on right now means there are some people who are supposed to do their job, they are not doing it. There is no sugarcoating it. But I also believe that sometimes, right, we may not even be getting that right because we may be wrong, saying that these guys are not doing their job. Their job is to protect us, is to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, is to protect Nigerians in their homes, in their workplaces, and in their children in their schools. But did you know something? As much as they have failed in that aspect, they have succeeded in keeping over 90% of the politicians, as well as some of your elites, safe. Politicians and their families are so protected that Nigerian security forces and all of these their agents, they've become private guards for some of these politicians. Enough that you can tell the shortage of personnel that should really provide security for Nigerians. Currently, they said Nigeria is like one, listen to this, so they said one medical doctor to 10,000 patients. That's what you have in Nigeria. I don't know if that number is still the same or if it has increased to one medical doctor to 15,000 Nigerians. That's how the shortage in that area. So when you go to the security, right, those who are supposed to be actually like investigating crime, preventing crime before they happen, they have been attached to the VIPs. Most of them are they are providing security for properties that politicians barely visit. That's his own station. go and stay there as a gateman, Nigerian policemen, Nigerian army. They will go and man properties outside their station, something that is completely different from, their supposed calling. So then the citizens are left vulnerable, and that is why whatever these guys have done in the last decade, they are already within us. To purge ourselves, what Nigerian, this one is even very important, to purge ourselves, right? Tinubu and his gang, Obi Dukes, thank you very much. Let me read thank you for your presentation and for doing what all the media houses in Nigeria combined cannot do. Thank you. A suggestion, 2025 year in review, a 1 to 2 hour MDB program, not live, highlighting major events from 2025 diary. I could do that. So I could probably make, but that would be, 2 hours would be too. I'll work on that. So thank you. Highlight of 2025, starting from January. Highlight means the major stories that actually shaped the 2025, preparing you for 2026. That's quite interesting. I mean, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate your gesture as well. Okay. So there is no intention of really ending this. Nigeria throw over 2 trillion naira. That's how much the defense budget is in Nigeria. 2 trillion, 3 trillion. The last time the budget of the Nigerian defense for 2025 is over 6 trillion naira. This this are kind of the money that half of it could go into other developmental needs of the country, But no, they are milking it. You're having retired generals who are like multi-billionaires. They have blood money, blood all over their fingers and the rest of that. So it's all deliberate. So don't ever think it's too far from you. It is not. From ERUKU, right? A lady. Hang on, let me first show you the aftermath. They finally gave us the aftermath of what happened in ERUKU in Kwara State. There's another one that happened in Edu yesterday. And as you are watching this video, right, the Kwara State government has been reported to have shut down all schools in 5 local government areas simply because of this crisis. And you really think Tinubu just locking himself up inside that place and sending people to go and spin lies all over the place. And yet, one very important decision to make, he couldn't make that. Declare a state of emergency in these hotbed areas. Flood the entire place with different security agents, the military, the entire military structure, Air Force, Navy, the Army, including your DSS, your NIA. Flood these states, you declare emergency there and flush these criminals out. But is that going to cost him 2027? I don't know.
Goodness, President, we are begging you, we are seeking for help. Angel. They took away my sister with her 3 children. They took away my sister. They took away my sister. If I don't care that I'm all, they took away my sister with 3 children. 3 fucking children. Please. I can't do this. I can't bear this. I need you people to support ERUKU. Please. Oh, this thing is getting out of hand. Toma fi kúrò l'ERUKU, wọ́n máa dóbole. Toma dóbole, wọ́n máa lọ sí OC. From OC, wọ́n máa wọ odò wa. Ìgbà wo náà ni wọ Òmàràn. We have people. I have a lot of families out there. I have people there. I have family.
If it doesn't happen to you, you can see it in judgment. That's why I kind of feel sorry for some of you, the Ronukus, who believes that calling out Tinubu to actually do his job is because people hate him. Maybe some people actually hate him and they have reasons to. But calling him out and you think being president of Nigeria is so valuable, is so important, Yorubas, make these Tinubu supporters, especially those of you who are older people, those of you who are in your 60s, 50s, that despite your education, your exposure, you have made yourself become so conservative for a wrong reason, for the wrong person. Somebody who has no interest of anything Yoruba at that, so to say. Politics is all that matter to him, not governance, not Yoruba land. But you make yourself so conservative enough that you are backing somebody who is overseeing